Well, welcome back into the garden here at Gardeners Cottage on the North Norfolk coast at Blakeney. This rosemary is in full flower. It was proving quite hard back last year, and it's just awash with early bees just enjoying the nectar off these beautiful mauvey blue flowers that are just scattered all along the fresh growth from last year. Does really well on the southern aspect of this cottage. So let's have a walk round the cottage garden here and show you what's doing well this time of year. We're still very early on in spring for England, but we're experiencing some really unseasonable warm blue sky weather, as you can see. Just look at that, absolutely gorgeous. So let me walk you around and show you the highlights of the flowering garden here at Gardeners Cottage. One of the little features we put in last year as part of the expansion of this patio area for seating with the new edging and this big stone which has got little succulents just planted in. They've not taken quite as well as or quickly as I hoped. They're in shade for most of the day, as you can see here. By mid-afternoon, even at this time of year, they're in quite dense shade. But behind them, just look at these celandines, which have been here for years. And the new planting of daffodils and narcissi have been absolutely spectacular this year. Got some early varieties of, I think, Ice Maiden or Ice Follies, followed on by these little narcissi and a mixed planting of tulips and some hyacinths, just to extend the flowering period, all on a white theme. Give this lovely long view down the edge of the garden. Again, by early afternoon in full shade. Roses coming on really well despite it still being early April. No sign of flower bud on these just yet, but just look at the health of the new growth that's coming on them. Beautiful red tones, russets. Not a sign of any black spot on this, which is quite unusual for us because we don't spray or treat. We just leave nature to take care of any problems that do arise. But this one's looking particularly healthy for this time of year. Marvellous. I'm just tucked in on the far end of that border we've just videoed is this little honesty plant. Still a couple of weeks probably off coming into flower. But that's going to be spectacular spires of purpley mauve flowers again quite quickly. These are biannuals, so this one would have been planted the year before or come in from a seedling last year and coming into flower now. And that should be lovely in a couple of weeks. Got more celandines along the base of this, some herbaceous geranium, and just look at these, some alliums. I think this is a large globe white variety that flowers very well here, but it's looking as if the actual corms or rhizomes have split, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 spires of new growth, each of which I'm hoping will put up a ball of flower later in the season. Flowering currant, one of the early flowering shrubs here in Blakeney. This is a quite light pinkish variety. We've got one over the other side which was moved last season and hasn't flowered this year, which is the really dark crimson red variety. But this one's looking very nice. Been pruned quite hard back to try and keep the light from this canopy and let some light onto the base. If I just rotate around, 2 girls and Ted are with me this afternoon. That's the view looking back towards the cottage here with the rosemary where we started. Bird song and peace and quiet here. It's absolutely wonderful. Let me just pan around and show you the rest of the garden. The flowering tree just coming into view there is an Amelanchier. Been here since we bought this cottage 21 years ago. Rewards us with this beautiful flush of white flower bracts, just with the background tinge of that bronzy red colour as the leaves start to emerge simultaneously. It's absolutely glorious. Bronze-leaved prunus, which is just about finished flowering now, and the dense ivy canopy behind. Some snowflakes in the far background. I'll walk you around now into the newly planted area, which we've expanded by cutting back the dense shrubbery which was here for many years. And we've managed to reclaim this little border quite well. We've planted in over the last couple of weeks more tete-a-tetes and narcissi, and we've got a lovely load of herbaceous that we're thickening up here. Should do very well. this summer. It's in dense shade by this time, but gets quite a good deal of sun during the morning and late evening. Got some iris looking very good. They're looking very healthy, those rhizomes. They were just leftover and spare rhizomes that we grew over on the Mid Norfolk farm garden. I had more than ample rhizomes to fill the iris beds, and the overspills come over here, and you can see just how well they've grown on. These tete-a-tetes and narcissi, I don't think these are actually tete-a-tetes, they're too tall. Those little ones there are February gold or tete-a-tetes, so this is some other variety of narcissi that was just bought in pots that had gone slightly over in the garden centre and reduced to 4 bowls for £5, which you can't really go wrong with. Just look at the number of bulbs that we've got in there, and these should give us repeat flowering year after year. The new fence that's been fitted to the end of the driveway here is getting filled in around by the autumn flowering of Japanese anemones. Again, these are coming up really well here. Nice healthy new leaf growth. They won't flower till well into the season, May or even June. Can be flowering right the way through to the onset of the first frost. These, they do very well here in Norfolk. Now that really shouldn't be doing that in April here in the UK, but just look at the buds on the osteospermum growth behind this. Just a single flower, most of it still a good couple of months off flowering, but we should have a lovely carpet of these osteospermum flowers. It's survived here without any frost protection now for 15 or 20 years, and you can see the way that it's gradually creeping out and away from the base of this large fig tree, which was where it was initially planted, in that little concrete edged planting hole. Escaped from there and working its way towards the garden patio set. Now, part of the large projects we did last season was to extend this seating area. Had a retaining wall coming down towards the house, which was making the area very cramped for guests staying here, and by removing that and extending the gravel area, we've really made a nice shady seating area for when the sun's really hot, and plenty of ample sunshine if you're wanting to get on one of those sun lounges, which we both have done this afternoon, to enjoy this early springtime sunshine. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little brief tour of what's happening here in the garden here in Norfolk in what is still very early April. And thanks for joining me. I hope wherever you're watching, you've got a sky that looks something like that above your heads right now. Bye for now.